All right, good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to Ottawa City Hall. My name is Patricia Boal from CTV Ottawa, and it is certainly my pleasure to be your master of ceremony for this afternoon's book launch reception for the book titled Hockey Moms, The Heart of the Game by Theresa and Terry Marcotte. This is a big day. Excited to be here. Forgive my French, but we're going to try it in French as well. Bonjour, mesdames et messieurs, et bienvenue à la salle de ville d'Ottawa. Je m'appelle Patricia Boal et j'ai le plaisir d'être votre maîtresse de cérémonie cet après-midi pour le lancement du livre intitulé Hockey Moms, The Heart of the Game par Theresa et Terry Marcotte. It is important to acknowledge that Ottawa is located on unceded territory of the Anishinaabe Algonquin Nation. And I would like to honor the land and the peoples of the Anishinaabe Algonquin Nation whose ancestors have lived on this territory for millennia, and whose culture and presence have nurtured and continue to nurture this land. All right, we are going to get right to it now. I would like to invite our host for this afternoon's reception, His Worship, Jim Watson, still the Mayor of Ottawa, to please come forward and share a few remarks.
Well, thank you, Patricia. Thank you very much for that kind standing ovation. It's very richly received and rarely delivered. Thank you, Patricia, for emceeing. This came about because Terry and I saw each other at a football game a few months ago. And I asked what he's up to after his great successful career as a broadcaster at CJOH and now CTV. And he said he's writing a book. And just a couple months before that, I hosted a book launch for Claudette Kane, the former Mayor of Gloucester. She wrote a book, and we had a little reception, and I thought we should do something for Terry, because Terry was a great community builder and focused on some really successful, not just successful, but some heartwarming stories about sports and athleticism and fitness in and around Ottawa and the Valley. So we're here today. This is one of my last chances to drain the budget before Mark Sutcliffe comes here. And the last time you'll see an open bar, that Sutcliffe is... I want to congratulate Mark. He came by the office today, and I'm personally very happy for him. I think he's going to be a great leader in our community, and he's got some great challenges, but great skill set to help our city move forward, and I wish him the very, very best. It's also great to see Brian Kilray. Brian celebrated a birthday last week, if I'm not mistaken, and great to have Killer here and Bert and our reps from the 67s. The 67s are off to an amazing start, as are Ottawa Senators. So, and the Atletico, boy, just when I leave, everyone starts winning. But I've known Terry a long time. He always does impersonation of me, and I'm sure he'll do it this afternoon. So thank you very much for that. It's all done in good jest, I hope. But it's nice to have members of Terry's family here, the brothers, sisters. His mom is here. Well, I think this is your brother. You're blocking your mother's views, so you should get out of the way there. And great to have Graham Richardson here, and Patricia did a great job covering the election yesterday, and now going that slippery slope of starting to name people. Eli El-Shantiri, where's Eli? Right here. Eli has served his community for over 20 years and is retiring from politics, and thank you, Eli, for your 2 decades plus of service. I see Carolyn Walter over there, gold medalist, ×2. Nice to see you, Carolyn. And I have started that slippery slope for Steve. There's Wayne over there, John. I'm going to stop right now and listen to my notes. So this book is a celebration of those unsung heroes. It includes first-hand stories from moms of some of the biggest stars in the NHL. It laces together their stories with those of mothers who never expected their children to set foot on ice. With insight, warmth, honesty, and humor. And of course, I've already forgotten to thank other people who are supposed to be here. Anyways, this is when you go off script. Karen Sylvester Cece. Is Karen here?
Karen's here.
Away. Hello. How are you? Who is, of course, the mom of defenseman Cody Cece. We also have MP Shelby Cramp Newman, MP. Hello. How are you? Welcome. Nice to have you here. You see, I've now skipped because I was going off script here. The book speaks of the highs and lows and challenges and triumphs of hockey moms who sometimes face heartbreaking setbacks along the way. I appreciate this opportunity to highlight these moving stories. And again, my congratulations to Theresa Boal, who is the co-author, and Terry Marcotte with a great work. I look forward to reading the book. It's a really great Canadian book, a book about hockey moms and the sacrifices that they make. Obviously, bring the kids to arenas and cold winter nights in some far-flung community. The fact that they have to go out and fundraise and raffles and 50-50 draws and so on to make sure that the kids can get to the hockey camp and the next level all the way up to the ultimate goal of being in the NHL. So on behalf of the City of Ottawa and my colleague Eli and other members of the council who are not able to be here, congratulations, félicitations. C'est un livre très important, non seulement pour la population de la ville d'Ottawa, mais partout notre pays au Canada. So it's great, that you're launching this. You're in Ottawa. We're here at Ottawa City Hall. We're always pleased to support local authors, and this is a big deal. It's a thick book. You put a lot of research into, a lot of miles, kilometers traveled. Congratulations, and thanks for being here.
Big print.
So you knew about the impression, eh? Oh, kept that quiet. Huge thank you to your worship, Jim Watson. Isn't it nice when the mayor says really nice things about you and your family are present? You don't have to pass that along later on. We'd like to move it along now, and I'd like to invite Ms. Shelby Cramp-Newman, Member of Parliament for Hastings, Lennox and Addington, to come forward and address the crowd.
Perfect. Thank you, Your Worship. Welcome, everyone. My name is Shelby Cramp. I'm the Member of Parliament in Theresa's hometown in the riding of Hastings, Lennox and Addington. I'll start by suggesting that I would encourage everyone to make yourself be someone that handles hard well. Too many people struggle with that. Many people in life wait for things to get easier. Many people think it's going to get easier after this semester, or after this season, or after this workout, or next week I'll start something new. I'll encourage all of you not to wait for the easy bus to come along. And that, I am very pleased to say, Theresa Boal certainly didn't do. She didn't wait for the easy bus to come along. She surpassed everybody's expectations, and I'm very proud, being from her hometown of Madoc, to be able to stand here with her and her co-author, Terry Marcotte, to share in the successes. I also see Theresa's mom and dad, Karen and Harold Bailey, in the audience here, and they too must be so proud of the milestones that you've met. Accomplishing something like this is huge. I'm a hockey mom as well. I have a young girl that plays hockey. Well, she's not so young anymore. She's 15. Growing up, I never thought that I'd have someone in hockey. I bought figure skates 3 different occasions for her, thinking hockey was not going to be it, and I wouldn't change a thing. It's been so instrumental, and talking to a room full of people that are convinced how wonderful hockey is and the stories that come from that, it's just outstanding. So again, congratulations to both of you. I'm so proud to stand here on behalf of the people of Hastings, Lennox and Addington, and both of you and the Pierre Poilievre opposition to congratulate you. And I'm encouraging everyone I know to read it. Congratulations.
Thank you, Ms. Cramp-Newman. And I would now like to invite Karen Sylvester-Cece, a proud hockey mom herself, to come forward and deliver remarks, or as she's more commonly known the last several years, Cody's mom.
Thank you, Theresa and Terry, for recognizing the hard work that moms put in order to have our kids pursue their passion for the game. A lot of what moms do happens behind the scenes and doesn't just involve getting our kids to practice in games, but also making sure that homework gets done, keeping up with curriculum while traveling, ensuring equipment is washed and ready to go, making sure the kids are fed and well rested, meeting team fundraising quotas, occupying volunteer positions for various teams and associations, and sometimes even building and maintaining a backyard rink, such as I did, all while trying to hold down a full-time job. Sitting in the stands and cheering is just a very small part of the bigger picture. I have 3 kids who play competitive hockey. Our oldest daughter, Chelsea, plays at the senior women's level here in Ottawa. My son, Cole, is the youngest, and he plays for York University as a goalie. And my son, Cody, is our middle child, and he plays in the NHL in Edmonton. The only thing that I've really noticed over the past 23 years of being a hockey mom is unnecessary pressure put on kids to make it, especially boys. The primary focus, in my opinion, should be on our kids falling into the less than 1% who end up playing at an elite level, but more on the character building skills that they acquire, like teamwork, juggling multiple priorities, working with different personalities to achieve a common goal, hard work, dedication, resiliency, the agony of defeat, and the thrill of victory. These are all things that will help our kids thrive in real-world situations. I feel the one big difference between hockey moms and dads is that we're often the ones who end up dealing with our kids' emotions, and any mom knows how tough this can be. The supporting role that we play, no matter what level, is a very important one, and I'm happy that Theresa and Terry have spent countless hours capturing the stories of some of the 600,000 hockey moms across Canada, and I feel so honored to be one of them. Thank you.
See what the mayor did with my notes here. Thank you so much. I want to invite the co-authors to come forward here in just a moment, but some of what Karen addressed, that pressure that we sometimes see on our kids to perform, and some of the issues around hockey that a lot of us have been talking about over the last little bit in Hockey Canada. We had the 2 of you in studio, and we were talking about launching a book like this in the middle of a really interesting conversation about hockey and timing and whatnot, and was this the best possible time for a book launch for this book that we're hours into, and all these wonderful stories. And I think Theresa and I were sort of looking at each other thinking, it is probably the love of moms for their kids and for this beautiful game, and those moms finding their voice more and more often to protect our kids and protect that game that so many of us cherish is what is going to kind of see us through this next era in hockey. And I hope that this book will really be an instrument for a lot of people finding their voices and kind of up that. So, okay, very excited to invite our co-authors up first, starting with the brains of the operation, Theresa Boal.
For having us, and it's almost surreal that we're here and that it's done and it's out there and people are reading it. And I want to thank everyone for coming today. I feel like it's really amazing to see Terry's people. Like I'm getting to see Terry's people, so yeah, that's really great. I became a mom 20 years ago last week. And people might not know or might have forgotten that I actually worked for the City of Ottawa at the time in the housing branch back when I lived in Ottawa. And about 13 years ago, I became a hockey mom. And he was the one who made me a hockey mom. He turned 20 last week. And it was a not so positive experience with him that launched the whole desire to have a community for hockey moms to try to figure out how to navigate some of the things that were negative in a sport that we really cared about and loved about. Because, there's been a lot in the news over the last few months. We've already always known that there were things, we just couldn't talk about it. So Kobe came first, then Kellen, then Shay, and ironically they are all playing hockey today. Actually, Shay skipped hockey to play a basketball game. So they are here because what we know is that you can't miss practice if you want to play in a game. And that's where they are. I didn't have a choice. My kids were always going to be in hockey because that's what my parents did. That's how we grew up. And I think how many years, Mom, 20, and Dad, 20, how many years have you been doing Bruce Lee?
32.
32 years. My parents have been running a recreational house league in our community after my brother finished. So my dad was actually an old school coach, and then suddenly when my brother was finished, he is now the most non-old school coach. It's a recreational league where the players pay $65. Kids who never play anywhere else. They've been doing that for 32 years. That's the community that I came from. But I'm also very competitive, so my kids play competitive sports. So because of the strong foundation in our community that my parents helped build, that's what I wanted to emulate. And when my son received one shift in a game when he was 7 years old, about 3 hours away from home, that's when I built the community. And back then, 13 years ago, that's when I got the idea for this book, but it wasn't until Terry came along that I was able to actually get it done. So thank you, Terry. I started out Canadian Hockey Moms anonymously because you couldn't talk about things. The first rule about hockey is you can't talk about hockey. I also wanted to practice my writing, and I wanted to use my community psychology skills to build a community. And then I met Terry. I know it wouldn't be possible without him. Look at the people and connections. People like you, Terry. It's just such an interest.
I'm surprised.
No, I know people like you, and I appreciate that. And it made it easy to work together over 2 years. And one of the things that I want to say is that a lot of the moms who are here, I haven't met in person. They were my connection over the pandemic for 2 years when I was alone every other week. I got to talk to moms and stay connected to that world that I missed. So 3 things have happened since the book came out. It was very important to me to have a book that welcomed everyone, and I hope that you can get that sense right from the cover. And we've had people come up to us, and specifically through social media, thanking us for making a place that included them, and I feel very proud of that. The second thing is that a lot of the moms in the book have told me they're never reading their chapter, which is a very strange reaction, but I understand it. And I don't know if you felt like that. Did you feel like that, Karen? I don't know.
I read it, but I was worried.
Yeah, a lot of people were worried. And when Terry and I were talking about it, I said that's something that happened the first time that that Terry interviewed me, which is when we met. He was doing an interview because Hockey Canada asked him to, and I couldn't watch it. It made me too uncomfortable to know that I had spoken out about some things and was talking about myself. And that's something that moms have felt. They were not comfortable reading about themselves. And when I asked them why, they said, we're not used to having a voice here. So it made people so I'm proud of giving mothers a voice. And the third thing is that people have thanked us for writing a hopeful book, a book about hope in a time that is not so hopeful. And Terry and I disagreed about a couple things, not that many, but a couple. The latest one being who's the nicer person? It's me. And the second one was whether or not this was a good time for the book to come out. And I think that it's pretty clear that it's a great time to have a different conversation about hockey. So I do want to acknowledge the moms who are here. We have, I think, 7 or 8 of them. Michelle is here. We don't do cowbells anymore. Is Brenda here? Brenda was going to come, but she didn't. Is Carol here? I haven't met people yet. Charlene is here. She was a billet mom for over 20 years for the 67s. And I was so glad to be able to introduce her to Jose Bouchard, who is the billet mom for the Rockland Nats, where my son is playing. Gloria is here, and I'm so grateful. Karen, of course, and then Linda and Sandra are here, and they are the last chapter that we're very proud of, an unexpected journey. And Tyson's here too, so welcome and thank you. Our love of hockey is built upon joy, and that joy needs to be felt by everyone. And what I want to thank people for is being so supportive of all of us, and we know that this book is built on the foundation of love, and love of hockey, and love for our kids. So thank you all for being here to help us celebrate.
Last and least. We'll never stop ribbing him, of course, but we actually really do love Terry Marcotte around here. Very, very proud of him. I want to invite my friend, former colleague, occasional pickleball partner, and very, very occasional karaoke partner to come up here. That's there. You go.
The karaoke reference was after pickleball, and we ended up having a couple beers at a place, and they had karaoke, and I wanted to go out and do Johnny Cash, and Chris said, "You're not doing Johnny Cash." So we did
Taylor Swift.
Taylor Swift. And they were all about 20 years old, and they looked at, what the hell are these two old people? Anyhow, thank you for emceeing. And I miss working with you. I don't miss a lot of it work, but a couple people, you, Graham. Mayor Watson, I won't even do the impression.
I'll do it.
Okay.
Jim, how are you today? It's a very nice day in the city of Ottawa.
Thank you very much for this is wonderful. And I remember seeing you at a football game a couple of years ago, and you have been in politics a long time. I think I was 8 years old when you were first elected. And we walked through, and when I was still working, we walked through the South Stand. I don't know if you remember, and it was like walking with a rock star. And I thought to myself, if you can have that kind of popularity being in politics for so long, because the longer you're there, the more enemies you make, and you might agree with that, maybe not. But people love you, and people respect you for what you've done for the city, and it's going to be a huge void when you're gone, and I think Mark is going to do a fabulous job, but thank you for all you've done for the city and for all your service. And thank you everyone for coming out, and it's somebody said, like, it's, just invite who you want and we get to it, but everybody who got an invite from me, you're important to me, and I've got family, I've got friends in curling, neighbors, sports colleagues, people I work with in the sports community, some of my former co-workers, back in the room, the legendary Brian Kilray and Bert O'Brien, and two of the best people I've ever come across, and the hockey moms. And just a quick story about the moms, the Gloria Saab, who is kind of followed the Cody Cece, her son Matt and the other son Marty, followed a music path, but played, house league hockey, but the foundation of learning what they got in hockey helped them become musicians, and they've had great careers in music. But Gloria was going to her dental hygienist, who was right behind her, Michelle Hollett, and said, "You'll never believe, I'm in a book." And Michelle said, "I'm in a book." They were in the same book. As hockey moms, and Michelle's son plays in the OHL. So I mean, this is a really small world, and I've got lots of friends here from grade school, and I've got my family here, and my two daughters were fabulous through the process and just helping tighten things up. And my wife Lynn, whenever I got stuck on something, I'd call her, and we would go through things. And through the process, Lynn had a second bout with breast cancer, and it was a difficult time. And we got through it. I mean, you can imagine the pressure. You got deadlines and dealing with that. And thank you for that. And finally, she's sitting down there, but she was a terrific hockey mom. But I was a crappy hockey player. But my mother, Marion, who is just turned 96 and still going strong. And thanks for coming. Theresa was, we met once during the whole book writing process because of COVID. We got together one day for a couple of hours, and that was it. Everything was done on Zoom. And I think I was difficult a few times. I think you might have been difficult. We got through it, so it was fun. Thanks for coming out. Well, they can't buy, but they can come back.
All right, well, thank you. Thank you very much, Terry. Once again, very proud of you, very excited about this book, hoping everyone does get a chance to read it. I keep selling it on the radio by saying, if you can't just sit down and read a book cover to cover, you can just sort of pick your favorite mom or favorite player and then just bounce around if you want. Never know if you commit to that. So the reception is going to continue here. I do want to take a moment to say, on this particular day, a huge thank you to Mayor Jim Watson for having us here and for how professional and gracious, and accessible you have been to us over the years. We very much appreciate you. But if you're going to have one last open bar, does it have to be 2 hours before the 6 o'clock news? And Terry and Theresa will be here. You can see them at the back of the room and meet some of the wonderful guests. So lovely to see all of Terry's family here as well, and all the hockey moms. Thank you everyone for coming. I'm just checking, is there anything official that I'm supposed to say about the reception? You're allowed to stay till 1 o'clock dancing? All right, thank you very much, and that concludes the formal part of our reception. Have a wonderful afternoon, everyone.
My brother Don.
Hey, Don.
Hey, nice to meet you.
Nice to see you. Hey, how's it going? Nice to see you again. I haven't seen you in a while. It's cool, hey? Nice to see you.
Not too many pictures of this.